This episode of Tekzilla is brought to you by the United States Air Force.
Earlier in the show, we talked about OS X Mavericks, the impending Mac Pro, the new laptops. Joining us right now to talk iPads and the new Nokia Windows tablets, SourceFed's Trisha Hershberger.
Hi, guys.
Confirmed Android user in an office full of, dare I say, Apple fiends.
That is very, very true. I'm constantly needing to defend my Chromebook, which, yes, that's what this is right here, and my Galaxy S3 phone. And
are you the only person in the office that isn't carrying an iPhone?
For the most part. We have a couple people on our production team that will rock a Galaxy product every now and then, but everybody pretty much is an iMac, a MacBook, a iPhone, an iPad.
And you covet the Note 3.
This is not a Note 2.
This is a Note 2.
And I already told Patrick I'm very happy that he has a Note 2. It makes me squee on the inside.
Do you find it frustrating that the iPhone screens just look so small at this point? Is that a point, did you mock people about it?
No, I mean, I'm not going to make fun of anyone for using a product that they like. The thing that gets me about the Apple fandom is exactly what the Galaxy S3 commercial was. I don't know if you remember that marketing campaign when they're like, oh, but they changed the chargers. We're all going to have to buy new chargers. And then the stereotypical Apple fanboy is like, but they make the coolest chargers. That's the thing that drives me crazy, is that ridiculous blind, like, well, they said I should buy it, so I should just buy it because they're the best, right? Like the brainwashing without actually doing any research and seeing what else is in the market. That drives me crazy.
Such an easy target. So, iPad Air, 1 pound, 9.7 inch, same Retina display basically, smaller bezel.
Smaller bezel, I think, is the coolest part of that, tech-wise, because I mean, we're looking at the same processor chip that we see in the 5S.
Right.
The battery life, they say, is going to be, what, 8 hours?
10 hours.
10 hours? But that's completely depending on your use. I love when they give the projected battery life and then you actually go to use it and it's 2 to 3 hours less. But yeah, again, the coolest thing about that is the 43% slimmer bezel. It's.
Do you want all screen, no bezel?
Ideally,
Because I'm
eventually.
My thumbs will get in the way when I'm reading.
And I mean, that's something you have to think about, especially if you're using, well, I mean, Apple doesn't have it, but some tablets have where you can touch on the side and use quick controls and stuff like that to navigate your web. So from a user standpoint, it might not be the coolest to have the slimmest bezel, but from a tech standpoint, I'm like, oh, that's so cool that they did that. I just want to like take apart the screen and look at it.
802.11ac, do you care that it's not there?
Do I care that it's not there? Yeah,
Does anything have 802.11ac? Cue emails.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Exactly. It's not the hugest deal to me.
Right. $399 for the iPad Mini, Retina display, 4 times the pixel of the first generation, same A7 chip as the 5S and the iPad Air, which is like they're claiming a 4 times boost in performance, 10-hour battery life, 5 megapixel lifesight camera, $529 for mobile data, $399 for the Wi-Fi version. Which would you be rocking? Neither, obviously, since you're
Neither. No, yeah, I would be going with something in the Note line, probably, like the new 2014 edition. But yeah, you were just reading down those specs, and the one thing that I thought about that caught my attention, oh, the 5 megapixel camera. Come on, Apple. If you're going to charge an arm and a leg, up that a little bit. So that was my first thought. And then, yeah, just up the battery life.
Yeah, 10 hours? What are you looking for in a tablet? 24 hours? 3 days? 1 week?
Honestly, I've had tablets before that have lasted me a week.
Really?
Without a charge? Yeah.
But that's like using it 15 minutes here and 20 minutes there.
And the big thing about this is that it is so much thinner. So you can't fit a big honkin' battery in it anyway.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Just from a logistics standpoint. Like that's.
Well, have you seen, I mean, you see like iFixit did teardowns on the last generation, and I'm sure they'll probably like November 2nd have their next teardown.
Yeah.
It's always really horrifying. But it seemed like half of the iPad container is now battery.
It almost has to be to stay competitive. But I mean, kudos to them if they figure out how to do that in that thin of a device. That's great. I mean, if you're someone who has to use a tablet for work or for school and portability is a huge thing, then you need the thinness so that your arm doesn't fall off at the end of the day, as well as the battery life to keep you going.
Well, at this point, you're basically all gaming machine all the time, except when you're on your Chromebook. I've never met anyone using a Chromebook in real life before.
Uses a Chromebook.
This is exciting.
No, I mean it's fantastic for portability. All of your tabs are sandboxed and stuff, so you don't really have to worry about viruses. So you can look at all the porn you want on it and not worry. I mean, what, Tourette's?
Oh my goodness. Switching gears, Nokia dropped the news on a slate of new Windows Phone today. The Lumia 2520 tablet, which is like the first Nokia Windows tablet. That's obscure. Big ass phablets. The Lumia 1520 and 1320 have 6-inch screens, like $800 for the 1520, which is 1080p. Stupid fast, like 2.2 gigahertz Qualcomm Snapdragon 800 system on a chip. The 1320 is 720p. Is that just at 6 inches? At that point, is it really no longer a phone?
Well, then you get into that whole question of, are phablets a thing that you want? Like, when you use your Galaxy Note 2, do you feel like it's too big?
It still fits in a pocket. Okay. Kind of.
In one of your pockets?
Yes.
So.
I have big dude pockets.
You have big dude pants, like with cargo pockets and stuff like that. You're not rocking the skinny jeans.
No.
Not today.
Me and skinny jeans is just an unfortunate muffiny combination that no one wants to see. Primarily me. But okay, point taken. So at this point, 5 inches, 6 inches, at what point does it become ridiculous?
Well, it depends how you use it. Like, I think that's why we're seeing the advent of things like the Galaxy Gear and the smartwatches and people on their Bluetooths, because when you do have something that's that big, how realistic is it that you're going to be holding it up to your face all the time
it's
to talking to like a phone?
Book.
You need some kind of Bluetooth or some kind of extra device at that point in time. Unless you're totally cool rocking like half of your face helmet.
I'm seeing Saints wrapped around your wrist, not sort of a Bluetooth accessory on your phone.
That's
true. Like, are you gonna? I mean, you know, Robert actually rocks one of the Bluetooth watches. But do you use a headset? Are you going to be using a headset with your Galaxy Note 3 when you get your grubby little paws on it?
I honestly don't know. I haven't decided yet if the Galaxy Gear is the way that I want to go as far as my extra, or if I'm just going to go with a plain old Bluetooth, which is fine too. I still think it's such new technology that I don't know that the price level to how well it works is quite there.
Google Glass may be $12 by then, and you'll be like, I'm never touching a watch.
Google Glass is awesome. Have you gotten a chance to play with it?
The thing that freaked me out the most was talking to a machine and it actually doing what I asked it to do the first time.
The first time?
Because usually when I talk to machines, like Siri, for example, it asks me a lot of repeat questions, ends up sending me to Cleveland instead of like the East Bay. It's a problem. So
I do not have the answer for that. Would you like me to search the web?
Oh my goodness. YouTube.com/SourceFedNerd. What's your Twitter feed?
Or you can hit me up on Twitter at ThatGirlTrish. No I in the girl.
You are so going to be rocking Google Glass, aren't you?
I would love to. Send me some. Google, hear me and give it to me, please. I would make all sorts of crazy prank videos. You know, when people don't know they're being filmed. That's legal, right?
So not letting her in this office with Google Glass. Ladies and gentlemen, Trisha Hershberger, thank you so much for making the time for us.
Thank you for having me.
Coming up next, we're going to be talking about, well, your viewer questions right after this brief message.
Visit the Air Force Collaboratory at airforce.com/collaboratory. Work with real airmen to solve some of the Air Force's toughest science and technology challenges. Your idea could change everything.